My role here involves everything that the blinded veterans do, whether that be in the centre or something run from the Brighton Centre. So it's engaging members in meaningful activities. Well, there has been a workshop of some form within the charity since we first began in 1915, and in that day then it was much more sort of practical skills, so people were making rush matting and they were doing things to contribute to the war effort. And those were young guys, you know, sort of who had no sight at all, and we have built up the expertise from that beginning until where we are now. So our staff are experts in what they do. They only work with blind or visually impaired people. And we have come up with all sorts of tools, techniques, approaches, methods of working to work with our blinded veterans to make sure that they can achieve whatever they hope to achieve. But really it's not about the finished product and making the most perfect or beautiful object. It's about enjoying what you're doing and the process of making. That's really what it's all about. So nobody's expecting you to be the most perfect potter or something. You might be, which would be great, but actually to enjoy what you're doing, that's what it's all about. So we have the art and craft department at the Brighton Centre, and we pretty much offer every kind of art and craft you can imagine. Painting, drawing, ceramics, mosaics, we have a wood turning lathe, we have a pottery kiln, we have a pottery wheel, picture framing, that's very popular with some of the guys who are slightly younger and perhaps want to have an income. It's a career path for them, so we train them in that. There's all of the sort of traditional blind craft, as we sort of like to call it, the basket weaving, lots of those skills that still exist, those craft skills, those real sort of practice things, as well as the decorative and the fun. It tends to be two different types of members, so maybe a member who used to be a painter or a craftsperson of some type, and when their sight started to change or fail, they stopped doing it and thought that was it, and you hear time and time again that they gave away all of their equipment. And then they come and they visit the charity and they realise actually something is still possible. Maybe not exactly the same way they did it before, but we can get them being creative again. The other members that come to us are the ones that perhaps who have never done anything practical or creative before, but find that time hangs a bit heavy, and doing something practical or creative does give a goal, a purpose, a sense of achievement. That finished article can sometimes be the sort of the physical representation of what they're still able to do, and it's a great thing to be able to show other people. And sometimes they'd never expect to be making a mosaic coaster or a ceramic pot or something like that, and actually they surprise themselves, and it's not about that thing they've made but what it represents. So in the Brighton Centre we offer a range of theme weeks, and these are for any person that's part of the charity to join in, and really it taps into people's personal interests or hobbies or something they're just interested in learning more about or taking up. So we have theme weeks in all sorts of stuff, so whether it be history week, music week, dance week, we have a photography week, planes, trains and automobiles week. It's really about getting a group of people together with a similar interest, and we go on trips and we have visiting people to come and do talks. The groups share experiences or information. So for the photography week, for instance, that's about some of our members who are really quite skilled in photography, sharing top tips and information about how to approach that when you haven't got your full sight. The History Week, we've got a couple of our members coming in and doing talks because they are the experts in their local area or in, you know, World War II, to share that information with other members. But it's really a good excuse to get together in the centre and do something different. We have three main sports that we do. We have archery, we have acoustic rifle shooting, and we have bowls. And actually we have one of our blinded veterans is the oldest archer in the country, full stop, sighted or non-sighted. And our indoor bowls team regularly win their matches and really annoy the other teams. And we have an indoor sports pitch here where we do all of these sports, and we'll actually play archery outside as well. But we also do training on tandems, we have people that are training for the Paralympics doing rowing, we have marathon runners, we have pretty much every sport that you can imagine somebody has done at one time. So a typical day, which doesn't happen very often at the Brighton Centre, every day is different, but what's on offer for people that come to visit? We have our What's On meeting in the morning in the lounge, which would give you the whole range of opportunities that are available to you, and you can kind of pick and choose which you want to do. That includes a morning activity, which would be in the lounge, sort of games or a quiz or crossword or something like that, or you could choose to go on the bus trip, which takes you to lots of different places. In the afternoon there's another activity, maybe it's in the inner garden, so in the sunshine, or again back in one of our communal rooms. And then in the evening you've got different entertainers, so whether it be somebody doing singing or a comedian or some sort of dance event, it ranges across the week and differently across the months. Being engaged in a meaningful activity, even if it's for 10 minutes, can make all of the difference to somebody. It's about the interaction with the person that you're working with, whether that be a member of staff, a volunteer, some of your other blinded veterans, and what you get out of it. So whether you learn something, or it's a sense of achievement, or just sort of a joke, camaraderie, all of that sort of bonding, that maybe the activity itself is just a vessel for all of that to happen, but they are incredibly important, and we can continue to increase the range of things that we offer our members in-house. The atmosphere of the Brighton Centre is like nothing else. I think as soon as you walk through the door, somebody says hello to you. People know your name. People want to talk to you, people want to engage. You can't be alone here. Even if you want some quiet time, if you want to be sort of, to have some thinking time, you are always aware that there are people around you and that there is somebody there to help you. Everybody has an understanding, and all of the staff are here for the same reason. And I think that the feedback we get from new blinded veterans that join after spending a week in the centre, they all feedback that actually they've thoroughly enjoyed it, and people couldn't do enough for them, and they've bonded with the group, and it's always positive. I think the members are the best thing about the job, and that's why we're all here. That's why we do the work that we do. And I think if anybody has watched me walking around and speaking to the members, and the sense of humour and the sort of the relationships that you can build up with people, and also that they know that you are there for them. When they're having a tough time or they need to share something, you're there.